feeling it? Can you feel it?
I found a music tape in my grandpa's found a music tape in my grandpa's house.
Yeah, this is my new favorite artist, Daniel Norgreen. Norgreen, I'm surprised I never heard of this guy. I just heard of him yesterday watching KEXP and it just flashed on my screen. Wow, some really good listening music, man. Very folky. It brings up, there's a lot of influences there. It's definitely Neil Young. Reminds me of Elliott Smith a little bit. Uh, it's really just really gutsy, raw stuff. Highly recommend, Mr. Daniel Norgreen. So, Marcus Conte reporting. Oh shit, there's all kinds of flare-ups before the big debate tonight. The big debate between the Democratic candidates, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, and Tom Steyer will face off tonight at 9 p.m. in Des Moines, Iowa. Right? But there's a big stir-up. There's a couple of big blasts going on. One, which now appears to be consuming the mainstream media, that Bernie Sanders might win Iowa and New Hampshire. That probably will win Iowa and New Hampshire, and he's going to face off against Donald J. Trump. So let's look at let's listen to Trump, the magic, the major, the
But
man,
I want to
the
run
myth, the
against
legend.
Hillary, not be. I just want to run against her. Look, I don't know if you're going to be able to. It could be we're going to run against Crazy Bernie. That could be. Could be Crazy Bernie. He's a crazy man, but that's okay. We like crazy people. And I hear they want to put Biden in. I hear they're going to actually slip Joe Biden in, and he's going to take Bernie's place. Now, I hear they want to slip in, because I will say the system is rigged against Bernie, 100%.
That was 2016. The system is rigged. President of the United States saying it. So that's Trump. This is 2016, in fairness. It's not now. He has made some comments. I was too lazy to find them. About Crazy Bernie. Whenever a politician is talking about a possible running mate, they don't talk about the shit sandwiches that have absolutely no chance of winning. You have to chop down your opponent, the guy that might just beat you or is rising in the polls and rising in popularity. Then you chop him down. So Trump is now on the record calling Bernie Crazy Bernie a few times. Okay. Now you'll hear the socialist slurs coming out. But here's the big story, right? So CNN, the allegation was that CNN put out a smear piece on Bernie Sanders, a sexist smear piece. They do this this is right on time, right? That Bernie Sanders is a sexist. He said that a woman could never be president. That was the smear. Now, that's what CNN is saying. The stakes were high when Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren met at Warren's apartment in Washington, D.C. one evening in December 2018. The longtime friends knew that they could soon be running against each other for president. The two agreed that if they ultimately faced each other in the presidential campaign, they should remain civil and avoid attacking one another so as not to hurt the progressive movement. They also discussed how to best take on President Trump. Warren laid out two main reasons she believed she would be a strong candidate. She could make a robust argument about the economy and earn broad support from female voters. Sanders responded that he did not believe a woman could win. So it's a one-on-one conversation. The description of the meeting is based on the accounts of four people. Two people Warren spoke with directly soon after the encounter, and two people familiar with the meeting. So the initial allegation is that what four people? Did Warren actually say it? There's no evidence that Warren actually said this about Bernie Sanders, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that everybody loves, the outlandish, frivolous, ridiculous idea that Bernie Sanders would say that a woman couldn't be president. Maybe the woman Hillary Clinton couldn't be president because she's disgusting and despicable and a horrible human being. But that's not to say that just because she's a woman, that all women are horrible, despicable, and disgusting human beings. Right? There is a possibility that he was pointing to Hillary Clinton. But the bigger part of it is, did Elizabeth Warren actually say that Bernie Sanders said that? Right? That's the mystery, right? But it's not a mystery anymore because we found out. She did say it. So that vindicates CNN as far as I'm concerned. CNN is just reporting. They didn't report that Elizabeth Warren actually said it herself. They said 4 anonymous sources said it. So
it's Red Lobster's new 3-course shrimp feast for $14.99. Choose soup or salad, one of 7 delicious entrees like new Hawaiian-style garlic shrimp, and get a sweet dessert. 3 courses, 1 amazing price. So come in today.
So let's listen to this.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is strongly denying a CNN report alleging that he told Senator Elizabeth Warren that a woman cannot win the White House. CNN reported Monday that the remark came during a meeting in Warren's apartment in late 2018, during which the candidates discussed their presidential ambitions. Warren told Sanders she would, quote, make a robust argument about the economy and earn broad support from female voters. And Sanders responded he did not believe a woman could win the presidency, according to CNN.
So there it is. That's the Hill doubling down, according to CNN. Bernie Sanders. All right, so let's move on. Now, the New York Times is reporting, as of yesterday, early on Monday, Bernie Sanders had denied making the remark in a private 2018 meeting with Elizabeth Warren, accusing her campaign staff of lying about what happened. So Bernie is accusing the staff of lying, but did Elizabeth Warren actually say it? That's what we want to know. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts said on Monday night that Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont told her in 2018 he did not think a woman could win the presidency. That's the New York Times reporting. Miss Warren's description of the comment from a private one-on-one meeting represents a remarkable salvo at her leading liberal rival in the 2020 race, just 3 weeks before the Iowa caucus. So Elizabeth Warren is smearing Bernie Sanders as a sexist, and Bernie Sanders is denying it. That's the real shit. So CNN, out of the way. Elizabeth Warren is confirming that she said Bernie Sanders said a woman couldn't win the presidency. Mr. Sanders vehemently denied making the remark early on Monday and accused the Warren campaign staff of lying about it. In a statement, well, Bernie, she's saying it. It's not the staff anymore. So address her directly. And you'll have your chance because tonight is the debate. And if you don't, you're just a pussy, Bernie. Address the problem. Turn to her and say, you tell the American people right now that I said a woman couldn't be president. Look to the cameras, Pocahontas, and say it. Have some balls, Bernie. Have some balls, right? Put her away right now. Here's the time to put her away. God damn it. So Sanders venomously denies. Let's just look at some of these reports and see what we can find out. This is the Washington Post. This is hostile territory for Bernie Sanders. They hate Bernie Sanders because why? They're owned by the CIA. They're deep state spooks. This is just remarks. Remarks reportedly. All right, so there's no audio in this.
For women and women's rights and stood. It is a lie.
This is Bernie Sanders' campaign manager, Fazar, Farouche, whatever his name is.
Bernie Sanders has always fought and stood for women and women's rights. You go back to 1988 when he was urging women to run for president and believe that a woman could be and would be president of the United States. You go back to 2015 when he was urging none other than Elizabeth Warren herself to run for president. Now you have 3 weeks before the Iowa caucus, you get some anonymous sources out there who want to throw bombs and suggest that Bernie Sanders is someone he isn't.
That's inaccurate because it's not anonymous sources anymore. So this was this morning, I guess, published today or yesterday. Get the story straight, guys. Get the story straight before tonight, Bernie. Come out in front of the cameras and say, make a little video, 2 minutes, and bash the shit out of her and say, how dare you call me a sexist? How dare you, Elizabeth Warren? Shame on you, Pocahontas. Your nose is growing, fucking Pinocchio. You get 4 Pinocchios for that one. Now, here's where it is interesting. Bernie Sanders' campaign slams Warren as candidate of the elite. Right? He did say it. Right? According to the reports, the scripts that Bernie Sanders' staff was reading off into the phone and in public when they shake hands, is that there was the tone was that Elizabeth Warren was in fact a candidate of the elite, where she's taking big donor money. That's fair. That's fair game. Is she a candidate of the elite? That's open to argument. There is evidence to suggest that she is a little too cozy with big business and banks that she's trying to regulate. There is evidence of that. Now, that's a fair stab. But to call, to make up a lie and say that Bernie Sanders is a sexist is outrageous, ridiculous, frivolous. Okay, there's a difference. So this part of the Washington Post's report is accurate as far as the reporting. And even if it wasn't accurate, it's still fair game to discuss in a presidential primary.
I hope Bernie reconsiders and turns his campaign in a different direction.
No. Fuck you, Elizabeth Warren. You reconsiders what? Reconsiders telling the truth about what you're doing and how you take money and what your vision is for the country? No. So you turn around and then you smear him and say he said that a woman couldn't be president? Fishy. And it all played out. Interestingly, it all played out right before the debate. So that's another report. Let's listen to CBS spin the story.
20 presidential campaign with 21 days before the Iowa caucuses. There's a lot of news tonight. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker has dropped out of the presidential race, and there's a fight between the two leading progressives. Ed O'Keefe is in Des Moines.
One day before a high-stakes debate in Iowa, the long-standing truce between Senator Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren appears to be over. In a statement issued late tonight, Warren writes she and Sanders met in December of 2018, discussing topics including gender and the presidential race. I thought a woman could win, Warren's statement reads. Sanders, she says, disagreed.
Wow. So there's CBS reporting it. There it is. I thought a woman could win. He disagreed. He disagreed? I mean, did he say it as a joke? Fucking come on, a woman can't win. Woman can't win. What are you talking about? Was it just locker room talk? Or are you making it up? I mean, people say a lot of crazy things. I say crazy shit all the time. It's just defamatory, if you ask me.
Sanders called earlier reports of his comments
ludicrous
and blames staff who weren't in the room lying about what happened. And it contradicts.
No, it's not Bernie. Again, it's not the staff saying it. It's Elizabeth Warren saying it.
What he said publicly for years.
In my view, a woman could be elected president of the United States.
Sanders is also denying his campaign told volunteers to say that Warren only appeals to, quote, highly educated, more affluent people.
I was disappointed to hear that Bernie is sending his volunteers out to trash me.
With
the scripts according to the reports, the scripts that the volunteers were walking around with did have that sort of tone to it. But that's not, again, that's not, in my view, that's not a foul to show the differences between candidates in terms of who they appeal to is not a foul at all. Making up a lie, a sexist lie, that's a foul.
3 weeks until the Iowa caucus, Warren has been slipping in the polls, and Sanders is rising. And now another candidate is out. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker says
I wouldn't be so sure of that. Bernie Sanders is rising in some of the fake polls, but the latest one that I'm going to show you shows that Bernie Sanders is not, according to the mainstream media, the favorite to win Iowa and New Hampshire. That's just out today. So they're already now, so you see how the sexist backstab comes. Now they're going to rig the primary. They're going to rig the primary. See, oh, the sexist, he's a sexist, and they rig the primary. See, he can't win. You see how it's the 1-2 punch, the establishment, right? Am I being paranoid? On the day of the debate, yesterday, Bernie Sanders is winning by 3% in the fake poll to win Iowa, to win New Hampshire. Then Bernie Sanders is accused by his rival of being a sexist, making a sexist comment, and the polls almost immediately say that, oh, look, Bernie Sanders is now losing, Joe Biden is winning. Right? It's so fucking rigged. It's so rigged, it's disgusting.
a lack of money in the upcoming impeachment trial factored into his decision.
I can't wait to get back on the campaign trail and campaign as hard as I can for whoever is the eventual nominee.
Yeah, and the whole 10 people that were following you are very, very sad.
He's the latest to exit the largest and most diverse group of contenders ever, down from nearly 30 to a dozen.
And Ed joins us tonight from Des Moines. And to hear Senator Warren accuse Senator Sanders' supporters of trashing her, what's at the heart of this fight?
Oh, Nora, this is all about establishing dominance over the liberal wing of the Democratic Party, and it could be a move by Warren to try to recapture some of that support. But it could backfire, because over the past year, Iowa Democrats have told us consistently they'd rather see the candidates focus on defeating President Trump than themselves. So if this keeps up, it could benefit other candidates like...
All right, so there you go. So I think there's... Oh, I wanted to... So let's shift a little bit. So that's what we're in for tonight. And... we're going to see, hopefully we're going to see a little fireworks between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Hopefully we're going to see Bernie Sanders reach into his pocket, grab his old testicles, and pull them out and say, you know what, Elizabeth Warren, you fucking smeared me, you cunt. Imagine he said that. You'd see him, you, Elizabeth Warren, you fucking... Imagine that shit. How funny that would be. Ain't gonna happen, but that's what we're in for. So let's talk about the possibility. Right? And she also shoots herself in the foot, because if Bernie Sanders is the candidate, and if he can overcome the margin of cheating, he would probably pick, if he's smart, he would pick Elizabeth Warren as his running mate, because she's representing 15-20% of the party. People, the liberal left, the progressives like Elizabeth Warren. They like Bernie Sanders more. They still like Elizabeth Warren. That's a great running team. And then you bring Tulsi Gabbard aboard. You promise her a cabinet seat. You bring Andrew Yang aboard. You promise him a campaign seat, right? That's what you do. You get Joe Biden's people will automatically turn to whoever the candidate is, because they're moderate Democrats. That's what they do. They're the sellout Democrats, the sellouts. They do whatever they're told, right? So let's look. So Monday, on Friday, I just wanted to throw this out, right? So I've been looking for people to debate Bernie versus Trump. Bernie versus Trump. So my new friend, DeFango, Elusive Man, who him and I have been rather active investigating the LARP worlds, these people that create frivolous lawsuits and all that. I don't want to get into it on this channel, because I know it turns a lot of people off, and I don't want to do that. I want to stick to the policy, stick to the big picture on this channel. But what I have been able to do is I have been able to convince DeFango, who has a fairly large audience. There's a lot of people that are, that are interested in the LARP side of the internet, what I consider a very destructive side, bad elements, the worst elements of the web where people slander and harass each other and others, and I don't like it. It's something that I don't like. DeFango is someone who has been able to bring people together and such. But that's besides the point. But what I've been able to do is tell DeFango that wouldn't it be a great discussion to have myself, who's a Bernie guy, and yourself, who's supporting Trump, have a civilized debate, right? Because we have mutual respect. I don't agree with what DeFango is saying about the country and how he backs Trump, and he certainly doesn't agree with what I say about Bernie and how I see Bernie as being better for the country. We don't agree, but it is an interesting dynamic where two people can actually look at the issues at hand, the issues that we're talking about, for example, right here, and what comes out in this debate tonight. So Friday, if you're not doing anything, a plug for Elusive Man. Here's the thumbnail. It's up. It'll be Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's Bernie versus Trump. I'm on Bernie's side. He's on Trump's side. We'll see what happens. So here's what's going on tonight. What TV? So in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, 9 p.m. tonight, we will have on the stage, as I said, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Joe Biden, Tom Steyer, and Amy Klobuchar. That's the 6. It'll be 2 hours, 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be sitting right in this chair watching it. Now, here's the big one. Here's the kicker, right? So, as I said before, on Saturday, in Iowa, a fake poll came out, and it put Bernie Sanders ahead of Joe Biden by 5 points. Now, today, this morning, after the smear piece, after CNN publishes the smear piece and Elizabeth Warren backs it, right, Bernie Sanders allegedly falls behind Joe Biden. Joe Biden, according to this poll, got a 9-point bump in the Iowa caucus. 9 points. Sanders falls by 2. Pete Buttigieg gains a point, and Elizabeth Warren falls by 2. How ridiculous, right? How does Joe Biden from out of nowhere? And the same for New Hampshire. So, again, fake polls. Monmouth has Biden winning Iowa, and Boston Herald has Biden beating Sanders as well, right? By big, right? So the polls are bullshit, right? As I have said all along, Bernie Sanders is the favorite to win this thing. Don't lose track of it, right? Don't keep your eye on the ball, and let's enjoy this guy, man. It's Daniel Norton.
I saw dragonflies flying around the sun. Dragonflies flying around the sun.
Right in the pocket.